Hello, hello, hello. No audio.
Good
It's good to
morning.
have
Good
audio.
morning. Sorry about that. I caught it quick. I'm getting quicker. Hi
That's
there,
it.
everybody. Good morning. Good to see you. We are a little bit late getting started. It's my fault. I started up a live show on the wrong YouTube channel. So,
Mm,
let's see
mm.
if they can. Man, I rolled out of bed 6 a.m. and rushed on over here. I'm feeling good though, ready to paint something. Feels good to be creative in the morning. That's my time.
Yeah,
That's my creative
yeah.
time. Morning.
Um,
I don't know if it's like that for you, Ben, but I pretty much the moment my eyes open, even though I'm groggy, ideas. It can be annoying sometimes because like my mind is bouncing. What are
yeah.
we gonna do? What if we did this? What if we did that? Just
Well,
ideas,
for me,
ideas,
it's
ideas.
hard. It's hard for me to think with this little pointer in my eye.
Oh,
I
my
just
bad.
I wake
Yeah.
up with a pointer in my eye. It's really hard to think.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, man, the
No, it's
problems of
true.
the digital world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wake up with a bunch of anxiety and like with a whole lot of mental activity. That's how I wake up.
Oh, okay.
You know,
Yeah, that's it. You're like,
like
yeah, I wake up with mental
well,
anxiety.
like like your brain is just firing all night, and then you wake
Yeah,
up and it's firing a lot, and you're like, well, okay, I gotta reel it in. And then you
yeah,
start to like process
yeah,
that
yeah.
that
It's
a
nice when
new
you can
day is
stay on a.
here. And
There's a certain piece that when you can focus. Like I like to get trancy music going and focus on a single creative activity because just
yeah,
not having that bouncing is much more peaceful.
yeah, peaceful music is on right now. I love a cup of coffee and some peaceful music on a quiet morning. That's my jam.
Yeah, yeah.
Amanda, you're dead on. Yeah, breathing helps. I'll sit there and do like box breathing too, is what I do.
Oh, okay, okay,
In
okay.
for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds,
You call
out
that
for four
box breathing?
seconds, and
That's
then
a word.
yeah, box breathing. Yeah, it's an
Oh, I'm not
anti-anxiety
familiar with
trick.
that. Okay, okay. I
Yeah,
heard.
well, I hope you remain unfamiliar with it. It's a tool for managing anxiety. So
Well, I mean, I breathe deep. I breathe deep to calm down. I just never heard that. I saw this other
well, it's
technique. I
like
was.
it's like intentional because when you're super, yeah. Sherry Himes says, "You brothers, yeah. What was your
Yeah,
first
yeah,
clue? For sure, brother.
yeah, right.
Born like a
Mm,
year and a half apart. Us two.
yeah. The eyes give it away a little bit.
I
Yeah.
know. Yeah. No,
I like
box
how you
breathing.
still have
Yeah.
eyebrows. As I got older, my eyebrows thinned out. Look at the difference. Look,
Hmm.
your eyebrow hairs aren't falling out.
Hmm.
I got a good
Hmm.
head of hair, but the eyebrows got thin. Why did that happen?
I
Hmm.
don't know, man. I just realized I'm turning 45.
Whoa,
Dude,
45. I just turned
I
46, so I
remember
can't feel
being
too
on
bad.
these YouTube things. I was on these YouTube things with you, and people were like, "Man, I don't believe that you're 40." And you were like, "Yeah, I'm 40." And now here I am,
The big number. Yeah,
44.
yeah, yeah.
Brown
You
brush,
learn. Yeah.
what's up? Glad you could make it.
We
You could
got
make it
some.
for even a
Oh
short
yeah,
time
we
here.
got some people in the house. All right, nice, nice. Let's
Yeah,
paint something.
Tyler's tired. He's tired of hearing us moan about being
Okay.
40s.
Oh yeah, because
Yeah,
what is he? Tyler finally hit
because
75.
he
Just kidding.
made
Just
it
kidding.
big
Just kidding.
7-5.
No, he didn't do
Um,
it. Okay.
Bearded, what's up? Glad to see you live as well. How you guys feeling this morning? Um, I'm feeling quite full of thoughts and ideas and coffee and outer space here. Let's check in on you
Yeah.
guys here.
Yeah, yeah. Let's look at some people's work. We got some work to check out here. This is Leanne. She's been working on one. Here's
Nice.
another real beautiful north. I believe this is a northwest kind of a setting right here. We probably looked at it. Actually, I think this is one we looked at on the last live stream. I think we looked at this one. Anyway, it's beautiful,
Yeah,
beautiful work. I like it. I think I talked about this.
Lake Mary vibes.
You know, water, the key elements of water, we got a workshop coming up. And one thing I'll be talking about is if you just do these two things, just make the lower shapes larger, the upper shapes flatter and smaller, and then make sure you have very uniform direction to your strokes. Those two things will make it look like water. Just those two things. And Leanne captured that real well. We got another one here from, let's see, let's just go up the list. A quick painting. Oh, that's why. So I didn't click on the message. That's why that didn't show up. I'm still learning how to use Gmail, folks. We got a couple pets attached, sent from Clover. Did we look at this one last time too? I believe we did. You remember seeing that one, Ben?
Yeah, we saw that one.
Yeah. Really nice.
That's a good dog right there. That's a good dog.
Yeah, I like that. Okay, hang on. Let's make sure we saw both. Oh, yeah, and the black lab. Those are good. Those are really nice. Those are nice pieces. Yep. Doing light and shadow on black is a tricky thing, you know, because everything's dark. Beautifully done, but we saw it. We saw it. And then we got up here, we've got, let's see if we saw these yet. Oh, yeah, we saw it. I remember these. Yep, we're going to move along. Okay, check those off the list. Tom. So let's see if we got Tom here. Oh, yeah, we saw that one. We saw this picture, right? Yep. So this is basically a recap of the last live stream we're doing right now.
Yep. I'm glad you guys were able to join us for this last week in live streaming.
yeah, last week we saw that one. We saw. Okay, let's see. Let's see if we saw this one yet. There was a whole bunch in it. Here's one from Robin J. Yeah, we didn't see this one. Yeah. Look, that's cool. Look, this is a mural on the side of like corrugated metal outside. Nice 3D shape to that. You know, a beak, the beak of a bird facing toward you is not a simple thing to paint.
Head-on beak.
Yeah, that's a nice looking cardinal. That's our state bird here. It's also our football team, Cardinals, here in Arizona. But I believe you have a lot more Cardinals in the Midwest than we have in Arizona.
It's also Catholic guy in a funny hat.
This looks a lot like Florida. All of these things on
Cardinals,
the plants.
Joe. Cardinals. Catholic guys in funny hats.
Catholic guy. I don't get it. What is that? I don't know what you're referring to. I'm sorry. I'm not that quick.
Cardinals, man. They're like in the
hierarchy. That is
the
I got you.
It's like a cardinal.
Yeah. Okay. My bad. Yeah. Right. It's a position. Yeah.
It's a job.
I got it.
It's a job. It's a day job. You know, pays the rent.
This is cool. Look at this shiny horse. Making a horse look shiny is that's no walk in the park either, man. That takes some real attention to
hairy and shiny.
Yeah. Hey, this is cool. You know, I know that you didn't see it, but I saw an earlier picture of this, and all this grass was dark. So who is this doing this thing? So I can see that they're in the process. I can see who this is from. This is Robin J. Is that Robin Jade's mural? Is that it? Yeah. It's this one. So Robin is in the process of lightening that ground. And look, I think this is a big improvement because it makes the mural so much more 3D. You can see it's almost like this light color drops back. You see this? See how this light color drops back and looks horizontal while the dark color still looks vertical and up on the wall, you know? So we don't have a lot of contrast between the horse and the ground. This is a real improvement for the picture to get that lightness, because then you can come in and put shadows along the ground. So good move on making the ground face more upward with the lighter color. That's real good. It can be hard to get that and get the intensity of color also there. I can see the green is real attractive. You know, we've got that bolder color, but the lightness is a real good improvement. Yellow and black is my go-to for that. Just yellow, black. I just pure yellow with a tiny bit of black, and then of course I add white as needed. I guess sometimes as you add white, you do lose the intensity. So that's when I might use yellow and just a little dab of blue in order to make it real bright. If I need it to be as bright as the background, because this one has a lot of background on it, and wanting it to look like a believable background against all of this, that's a tricky thing too. So you might have to move from the yellow and black to an actual yellow and green to get as bright of a possible. You just got to be careful you don't overdo the blue when you use those colors, because it always comes out just so blue when I do that. Anyway, beautiful, Robin, beautiful work. Sorry, I didn't read your message. Didn't have time to do it, but I'll catch up with you later if there's something else that we want to hit on that. But it really is nice. Now let's see some others. We got a few more in the end. Look, we got a list here. Let's see what Kathy Adams is up to. She says, "Oh no, so I didn't pre-read these messages. We'll just go through the pictures then." Just wanted to say I saw thank you, so I was like, I guess I'll read it. Thank you for lifting my fear, helping me embrace finishing this painting. All right, I like to hear that. It's been on my to-do list for over a year. My friend's house started it. Finished it in 5 days after finishing coffee table. For some reason, it took 3 years to do. Hey, I've been there, done that. Okay, used yellow black for leaves. Nice, good work. Had no idea that that was a thing. Check out my recent coffee table. I'm proud. Used 3 different greens, no yellow, black. This long painting of 3. Okay, let's check this out. Let's check. Oh, that's not the coffee table, but that's a cool painting. Nice color, man. I love that bold, saturated color. This is something that gets lost with paint. Good job not losing it. Nice saturated color coming through. Boy, Ben, you got like some nice coffee shop background at your house. You got the chitter chatter of the company.
Yeah, well, it's this is a hangout sesh, right? Just a little jibber jabber.
That's all right. Yeah, that's all right. It's good. Man, cool picture. Look at that. Real 3D winding roots. Captured the midtones. If anybody, wants to know what I'm talking about, keeping the midtones. See this nice color in here. When you mix a light with the dark in paint, you lose all the color that happens in the transition. So adding it in with the third colors really maintains a lifelike 3D shadow effect. It's very nice. Very nicely done. That's cool. Okay. Let's see here. Oh, nice. That's cool. I like that. That looks like something hanging in a restaurant or a coffee shop. Specimens. We got some cool specimens there. Let's scroll through. Ooh, that's nice. I like the shapes. That looks like we call this a succulent here. Nah, it's nice.
It's a fun word,
Yeah.
Succulent.
Yeah. Really cool. Okay, that is the word.
Attracted to that word, but I am succulent.
Beautiful. Sorry, it came in sideways.
Some words, Joe, he's attracted to shapes. I'm attracted to the shapes of some words. Succulent is definitely one of those words. Another one of those words, squeegee. I love the word squeegee.
Right. Yeah, there's some words that give you a feeling right away.
Just try it. Yeah. We'll sit behind your computer right now and just say squeegee a few times. It feels good.
Yeah. Kathy here's remembering when it creeped me out to add an I to my work. Yeah, it was indeed. It was indeed creepy. I painted over that. That's my we're gonna paint this today. We are gonna get to painting. Okay. I added an eyeball.
Like painting.
Man, I could really go for something on the pretty side after last week. Let's see what Teresa's been up to. Teresa says, "Greetings. Hope this email finds you thriving in your talent." Well, I get too many compliments. Thank you very much. Thank you. I guess that's more of a blessing than a compliment. Thank you very much, Teresa. Getting ready for the 5th annual Open Art Studio Art Exhibition. Nice. All right, that's cool. Randomly attached old and new murals, props, and portraits. I'll make every effort to tune in to the live. Okay, nice. When was this sent? 7 hours ago. Okay, I hope you're here. I hope you can see it. Let's check out your work. All right, we're looking at a very experienced artist here doing some cool stuff. Oh, 3D work. That's neat. Reining in that wild horse. That's cool. I wonder what that's made of. Is that a plaster? It's not like poured metal, right? It's plastic. That's cool. Nice work. Nice work. Oh, more 3D work. Okay. Okay, that's neat. That has a nice, old treasure hunt vibe to it. Message in a bottle kind of a thing. Nice. Oh, I see. There's a theme here. Teresa, did I get it right? Is it
Message
Teresa?
in a bottle.
Totally. Yeah, it is
Mm-hmm.
Teresa. Yeah. Yeah, 3D work. Teresa has 3D work and beautiful colors. Look at that dog, man. That's very lifelike reflection. I don't know if that's real reflection or if it's painted reflection. I don't know.
I mean,
That's how it looks. It looks so nice. Very lifelike. Beautiful. Ah, we got a Noah's Ark scene. By the way, this is why people don't believe Noah's Ark could have actually happened. Nice illustration of why people don't actually believe this could happen. but it really is fun.
it's just too fun. It's too fun.
Yeah, right. It's not science class. It is good. Yeah. That's
Joe,
good.
would
I
you be
really like that.
offended if somebody wants to cover up a mural you did almost 14 years ago? Arlene asks.
Hey, this is a cool picture. No, I would be so happy. I wish someone would cover up my old mural. I just want to move on. I really just want to move on. And have my most current work represent me, because you paint a mural, it represents you.
Yeah.
Ardenwood Elementary School exterior 3D mural. Nice. This is beautiful work, Teresa. I love that. That's cool. Man, I bet the kids love it too. She's good with the fun shape. Like, this is an important aspect of art, is being able to make it fun. Nobody's looking for a diagram. You know what I mean? Well, people who are looking for a diagram are looking for a diagram, but
they're not looking for fun.
Yeah, it's not about fun. Nice 3D work all over. Very good. Oh yeah, that's cool. Nice.
Jonathan
Nice
Scott says, Joe, maybe you should offer to be the one that covers it up.
No, I did that once, and it didn't go well for me.
Painting over your own work?
No, oh, if it's my work. Yeah, I see what you're saying. I was thinking if it was somebody else's mural. I don't like being the one that covers somebody's mural. So I had someone apologize to me in a paint store once. Hey, this is nice work, Teresa. I'm going to move on. Thank you for sharing this. Really beautiful work. I didn't mean to make fun of Noah's Ark. I feel a little bit guilty about that. I actually do believe that the Ark has been found and did happen. Some version of the story. I do believe that. That illustration just was fun for me to look at the exaggeration. Anyway.
I mean, if you see a boat where you got animals hanging off the side,
it's Noah's Ark,
overflowing like popcorn in a bag at the theater, and then safe to say we're in interpretive territory.
Yeah, that's it. This is art, man. Yep, anything goes. Here's some nice work from Susan. Susan did this. As you can see, my C is not realistic like yours. It's more impressionistic. I'm always torn by following your instructions and doing my own dabs. Hey, do your own dabs. Let me just tell you, do your own dabs. Enjoyment is the priority. In my priority list, enjoyment is at the top. Don't let anything I say take away the joy of painting. That's a Bob Rossism there, isn't it? Nice work. Nice work. I like that.
Joy of painting.
See this one. Ooh, I like the reflection. It doesn't have to look like a photograph to capture the feeling of reflection on water. That's fun to look at. I like the perspective you put on your beach where it washes back down into the water. Nice job capturing that. Dark, wet sand down here, moving to reflected. Nice. Good. We always got to celebrate the things that are done well in our work. We look at our work and we see the things we wish we'd have done better. But celebrate the things that are done well. you know, like this gradient from sun to sunset color. That looks like natural light. You did a great job making that glow. It doesn't look like the typical kindergarten picture where it's just an orange ball in the sky and it's on white paper and it doesn't look like it's glowing. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but great job making the glow. It's beautiful. Shadows and perspective. I love that grass also looks illuminated. Nice choice of coloring there. That has a good vibe. That's my favorite one in the collection that you shared. Nice. Beautiful work. Thank you, Susan, for sharing that. We're almost done with our list. We'll come back to them. We'll come back for these. Let's see if anybody else sends some stuff in. Okay.
Where could people send something if they wanted to?
Oh yeah, I left it in the description of the video. share@muraljoe.com is the email. Send it to that email.
Share okay, it's not in this description, but share@muraljoe.com.
Oh, my bad. That was in the failed one. I accidentally posted a video this morning on a different YouTube channel, another one that is not the Mural Joe channel. That was my mistake, and I put the description on that, and then when I was hurrying up to transfer, anyway, long unnecessary story. I failed.
They've found their way here. You know, fortunately, it's not complicated.
Yeah, it's not complicated. Yeah, this is somewhat of a haphazard operation we got going. Me and Ben, we wake up, we do what we can, we have a good time. Right?
Yeah. I mean, you know, we appreciate you guys bearing with us here as we very unprofessionally have a little sesh here this morning.
Yeah. But we're here to hang out, have a good time.
I mean, professional is Monday through Friday stuff. You know what I mean?
That's it. This isn't paying my bills. You know, I noticed that when it comes to the live streams, YouTube itself recognizes it as having a different position in the algorithms. YouTube does not strive to repost live streams for people. It doesn't strive to put live streams in front of people. It doesn't. Only if it's like highly specific to your interest.
Yeah.
And it's because there's an understanding. It's a hangout. It's not like the next viral video. That's not what it's going to be. Although it could.
Mia's in the building hanging out. America Marcy is here too.
Nice. Thank you.
And Jonathan and Arlene and Raymond.
Sweet.
Tyler and Artie and AC.
Thanks for being here.
Thanks for being here. So, you know,
I like to talk about edges and gradients in work. So I'm going to start my painting with a gradient that I like to use. I don't even know what I'm going to paint. That is the color white. Do you think white should be considered a color, Ben? Let's get philosophical.
Hang on 1 second here.
There's the guy. Get some caffeine. That's it.
Okay.
Let's deal with this.
Should white be considered a color? Okay.
Black and white. Are black and white colors? What do you think? What do you think? Jury's out.
I mean, the jury's not out, Joe. Come on. We know what. I mean, okay. So let's open it up. Everybody here is probably aware that white is all colors together. You know, if you're on like an editor, if you're doing some editing, and you're trying, you know, there's like a code for CMYK colors. It's like a six digit code that numerically identifies an exact color on computer screens, and the code for white is FFFFFF.
Yeah,
and that means full on all wavelengths, right?
Yeah, full amount of all.
It's not 0000000. That's black. That is none of any of the wavelengths.
None.
So, like, is white a color?
I'm going to argue. I just want you to know I'm going to argue with what you're saying.
I hope you do. I hope. Wait. Whoa! Newsflash, guys. Joe's going to disagree with me, guys. Stand by. So I'm gonna say FFF means full of all colors. And so let's just say, yeah, sure. Full of all colors means you're a color too.
Ah, well, that was going to be my stance. It was that if, like, why should white be discluded from being called a color just because it has all of them? Because when something has just two of them, we call it a color. So why should it be discluded when it has three of them?
Oh, sure. Mavis is saying, are you referring to the color of light or paint? And
well, either one. Just when you see the appearance, I guess we're talking light. I guess we're talking light. What we perceive.
Well,
so we look
at. We're talking about when light bounces off of a thing and it appears to your retina as white.
Yeah, so let's say when you're perceiving white, you look at something, you perceive white. Should it or should it not be considered a color? This to me is an ongoing. I think there's good points. So wait, your final stance was yes? Were you saying yes? Why not? You were kind of like
I'm gonna say philosophically, if you're full of something, then I'm comfortable saying you are that something. And so
okay.
If it's all full of all the colors, then I'm gonna say it's a color too.
Okay, I'm gonna go the other way. I was gonna take that stance, but I'm gonna go the other way.
All right.
And say,
what do you got?
Say, all right. Well, for practical purposes, we have where a color distinguishes a position on the rainbow. That's the functional purpose of it. Like we see a color, we're like, that thing's kind of yellow. I don't want my house to be that yellow. Let's make it more green. You're talking positions on the rainbow. It's not just abstract, All right, so white doesn't have a position. Doesn't have that position. So then, for functional purpose, it works well to say, well, that's not a color because it doesn't have a hue that's at a position on the spectrum. And then black, black is absence. If it's a true black, we always think we're seeing black, but then you see a dark shadow on the black, and that shows, well, it wasn't actually black. It had some gray. It had some light in it.
Sure. Well,
by the way, I don't know what I'm painting. I don't know what this is. What do you think?
Not Tyler. Tyler says, I sound like I'm full of color. Leanne says, by my logic, then sounds like black is not a color then, right? Which is kind of the point you're making. And I got to say, Leanne, it's a solid point.
Solid point. Yeah, but I just want you to know that I'm looking at this objectively. I don't believe there's an authoritative answer on it. I don't I'm arguing the other side because Ben took the
there's also this. It just doesn't matter.
It just doesn't matter. Boy, the things we get caught up in. Wow.
What you're gonna call it doesn't matter. A color? It is what it is.
Yeah. Boy, that'd be a better argument is when does it matter whether you call
oh geez.
When does it matter whether you call black and white colors? That's a hard one to identify.
I suppose it matters when you expect it to behave like a thing, but your definition is causing you to have misidentified it, and so your expectations are not in line with how it's going to behave.
Right.
That's when it becomes problematic. But
yeah. Well,
I think you know what's going to happen if you stick a bunch of black in your paint.
I do. Yeah. It never really becomes an issue for me. It just is a philosophical thing to bat around. Really, is just for sport. We just do it for fun.
Yeah. Well, speaking of sport, Tom says white does have a position. It is all the colors combined when you are talking spectrum, so it is everywhere.
Oh, interesting.
References the Pink Floyd album, where you've got a white light hitting a prism and then fracturing out.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a very solid, logical argument.
That's a take. We also got Mary Lena, who says, scientifically speaking, a color is a certain wavelength of the light reflected, and white is a combination of all the wavelengths all together. So I guess you could say it's color. That was kind of my take.
Yeah. I like that take.
Uh,
It's a good take. Yeah.
but is it a color? I don't know, dude.
I
Like,
don't know.
you know what? This is what matters more. And Joe, you've talked about this.
Huh?
Who cares what we define it as? What matters more is if you use it, then what happens?
What happens? We care about the if-then relationships,
You know,
right?
like
That's what I care about in
define
my
it
work.
away, spitball it back and forth, but you will never escape what happens if you use white and what happens
Yeah.
if you use black.
People do love categories, huh? Like we like to so we're doing this for sport. It's just lighthearted sport. Is it a color or is it not? It's kind of like talking about, is this real? Are we real? Is this real? You know, is it like
Sure.
you get more bang for your buck talking about consequence than talking about real and not real.
Well, philosophy without any sort of implications for or like conclusions. Philosophy
Yeah.
with no conclusions or implications about life is just sport. You know what I mean?
It's just sport, yeah, but it is a legitimate sport. I mean, it's very enjoyable sport. I find it enjoyable as long as the mood stays light. You know what I mean? When it gets real serious, then I feel different about it.
Well, I've not based my life on whether or not white is a color, and so feel free to question it because
well,
it's not going to derail my sense of place or security in the world. You can poke holes in it all you like.
Okay, that's cool. My 10-year-old came, was telling me he'll tell me things he learns in art class. And I got to watch what I say. I can't be the dad that's like always correcting his kids. Well, actually, son, like I don't want that reputation. But he says things that I'm like, do I agree with that? So I try to talk real objectively about, well, maybe that's the case, but what about this? And that was one of the subjects that came up, talking to my 10-year-old about something he learned in art class. White's not a color.
Yeah. I do. I think there's legs on that though. This idea that, we can spend a lot of energy trying to define something, but probably the way that it really matters to us, what we should be trying to identify is how does it impact us, or how does it, what happens if we engage it or use it or stay away from it. Like impact is kind of what matters, because ideas are exhausting. I find ideas to just get exhausting if they're irrelevant,
Yeah.
I think you and I have exhausted a lot of audiences just spitballing irrelevant ideas,
Yeah.
like just in our lives,
Right. You're right. Yeah, I believe that is true.
But like we do that because after a while, maybe something's gonna matter to life somehow, somewhere,
Yeah, right. That's true, because you're just pondering. But this is that 6 a.m. mind space we're talking about again. It's like I got ideas floating around. And you can't help it. It's annoying. It's exhausting, but you can't help it. It's just where your mind goes, and you're like, I need somebody to. I think we were just very combative. I don't know why we were always so mentally combative as brothers growing up. It's always such a competition to see who had the best ideas. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, there's a security that you when you're okay.
Okay. Did I get you going? Did you get you going on something? I like that.
So here's the kind of week I've been having. All right.
Okay, let's hear it.
Some things happened this week, and I came into some conflict with some people, and they said some things
that's always fun.
caused me to look at myself and my life, and I found it quite off-putting. Like I was thrown off by what people were saying about me.
Right? Oh yeah, right. That doesn't feel good.
And so I thought to myself, I'm like, why am I so thrown off by what people are saying about me? I don't typically care or mind what
Yeah. Yeah.
commentary is out there. Why all of a sudden this person, this situation doesn't matter so much and I can't let it go? Well, I've identified, and there's a point to all this. I've identified that it's because I am a little insecure about that issue. There is a seed
Mm.
of doubt in my own mind.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. When you realize that something's getting to you, you got to recognize it's because you care.
And so
Right.
I'm
Right.
vulnerable and I'm insecure, and I don't know exactly where I fall on an issue or if I'm proud of the way I'm handling an
Mm.
issue, right?
Yeah.
So when
Yeah.
someone says something that causes me to doubt it, it
Yeah.
makes me very uncomfortable and I have a very
I gotcha. Yeah.
adverse reaction. I think us as young men ping ponging ideas,
Yeah.
combating each other, trying to figure stuff out and prove each other wrong and arrive at truth. And
Mm.
all of that was just us trying to gain that security of something to stand on that we know, that we can count on, that
Yeah.
people can't shake us
Here's
off
how
of.
things are.
Because being a person is an uncertain experience. Like we don't
Yeah.
like we just don't feel great about our handle on all of this. You know, we're in a
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
complex
Yeah.
existence, but with just a very simple set of perceptive
It's kind of
tools.
like when you're real little, it's like, well, my dad said, and that's the trump card. Well, my dad said,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
you are not going when you're at that age, you are not going to let anybody say that your daddy is wrong. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. Well, you're a little kid looking around at a world of adults, and it seems to you as though the adults know what's going on, and so like you want to be like you want to have that security of knowing things, of that sort of
Yeah.
that effectiveness, on the world, but you don't have it. So as a kid, you're like, I'm gonna stick this idea in the sand. I'm gonna plant this flag. This is gonna be my
Yeah.
foundation. And if you cannot throw me off it, then I know I've got something true, and that makes me feel secure and good about me and my life and my ability to like
Yeah.
be latched into something real. Well, if someone comes along, say your brother, and he's got an idea that's conflicting your own, but maybe it's got some validity to it, it checks out.
Yeah.
Well,
It
now all
checks
of a
out. You're
sudden I'm
like,
like, oh my
man.
gosh, maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. Maybe I'm
Yeah.
lost. Maybe I'm confused.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
I'm believing an illusion, right? These are all
Hmm.
very uncomfortable feelings, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so you'll fight to keep those away.
Maybe I think when somebody really gets into the sport of philosophy in a way that actually engages others, they learn how to enjoy that uncomfortable limbo. You know, like
Well,
so
if
you
you
sometimes you
go
encounter
ahead, go ahead,
somebody
go
that's
ahead.
got that philosophical bent, but you actually enjoy talking to them. You know,
Well,
that's
because it's about the security or insecurity of the individuals in that relationship. Like yeah, Leanne, I am kind of voiceover for Joe's painting, aren't I? Um, I've
it's
only
like
noticed.
who's talking?
Okay, here's the cut to the chase. I am most vulnerable and most like porous to the commentary of others when I am uncertain about my own position.
Yeah,
Right.
I can relate to that for sure. I
The
definitely
more
think the same
certain
is
I
true for
am
me.
about my position, the less thrown off I am, the less
Mm,
concerned I am about the disagreements of others.
yeah, yeah, totally. Yeah, I feel the same way. You know, and that's a hard thing, and I think it comes up in marriage a lot. You know,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
anywhere where you
A
have
petri dish of conflict.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's bound to be conflict arising at some point, and then you're like, uh, it just hurts so bad to hear something addressing your character. The defense comes instant. It's a knee jerk reaction. Well, that's not fair because you just did that exact same thing.
Yeah,
You get
yeah.
so defensive.
Well, there's
Yeah.
also this issue with us, and this remains to be the case today. So, like, I don't, maybe this is the case with other people, maybe not, but I know it is with you and I and with our siblings.
Sure.
We're all fiercely independent, like fiercely independent.
That's interesting that you say that. I guess I didn't really think of that description, fiercely independent.
Yeah.
Interesting thought.
We will look you right in the eye and say, I disagree. I'm doing it different. I don't care. Like
That is
all
a
of us,
trait, isn't it? Yeah.
all of us will proudly declare that. No matter what the circumstance, all of us will
Yeah.
proudly declare.
Even if you're on the wrong side,
I'm
you're
going my
still
own
like,
way. Screw you guys.
yeah, that can be dysfunctional here and there.
Oh, it's absolutely a liability for sure.
So you can't work with that guy.
No,
Hard to work with that guy. Yeah, you got to curb that when you're on a team. We were not a natural. None of us naturally clung to team sports. So that kind of goes in favor of what you're saying. Like too independent.
Yeah.
Too independent.
I mean, it's an asset and a liability. Just like any kind of fire, any kind of sharp blade.
Ooh, fire. Fire. What if we put fire in the picture? Should we do fire?
You kind of already did, dude. You kind of already did.
Yeah, but it's fire.
It looks like you got like a tree growing amidst a fiery waterfall.
Yeah, I was just thinking some fiery sunset light. I wasn't trying to make anything that looked too like destroyed, I guess. Anyway.
Yeah. Hey, Tyler's got he loved his short this week on brush tip to trim razor blade.
Okay.
That was a good tip.
Cool. Oh, he watched that. That's the short. Yeah. You know what? I've experimented with a lot of different cutting brushes, the big brushes. I'm glad you brought that up, Tyler, because a brush like this one, this is a contractor style brush. And if you split these in the middle, you'll actually see the line of, I can't find it on this one, but when you pull these bristles apart, you'll see a line of epoxy resin, that real hard glue that's down the middle. And if I can find that glue line in there, I can't find it on all brushes, but if I do find it, then I'll chop one side of it off, because this is what happens. The brush gets wet, and we're all familiar with this. We call it fish mouthed, and when a brush would get like this. And then you're trying to make a single line, and you got two of them, and you got this thing that annoying shape, and you can't get detail lines. So I would just slice one half off. So all it had was this. So on bigger brushes, I'll slice one half off. But on the one I put on that short, there was no center glue line. So I just chopped to keep it centered. I just went slice, got a real thin strip of bristles. And then having a brush with a lot of bristles has springiness. So that's why I don't like the spear tip, the daggers, or the spear tip brushes that have they bend around so much. I have a hard time with the control, especially with shaky hands. So I like the more springy action of a brush that's been trimmed for details. Anyway, you can watch that last short if you haven't already. That's been my handy tool for doing all the details on aspen trees as I've been doing this mural.
That's true, man. Those aspen trees are looking pretty boss.
Oh yeah, I sent a picture. Thanks, man.
Yeah,
I haven't shared a whole lot of pictures of that mural. Yeah, actually, that's in the Google Photos. We could take a look at it. Take a look at the aspen
tree game is on 10.
Thanks, man. Painted a lot of them. Had a lot of practice. That's for sure. Usually I do yellow and black for foliage. I'm going to put a bunch of foliage lights kind of peeking through right here. Normally I use yellow and black. I put yellow and orange and black in this so that I can keep with the lighting. So I'm kind of bending the greens toward orange by putting that. So here's the black. Let's put that in there. Start to turn the yellows green just a little is all I want. I don't want a lot of that because I want to maintain my very moody orange light. I'm just going to start putting dabs of what maybe looks like some juniper foliage. I've got kind of an alligator juniper thing going on here.
Yeah, man. Mary Lena says this looks like. Oh wait, no, it wasn't Mary Lena. Somebody else said this looks like Saturn, hanging out on Saturn.
Yeah. Okay, I've never been to Saturn.
Saying, man,
So
yeah.
what's it like?
America Marcy says Saturn, Arizona.
Yeah. Saturn, Arizona. Okay, okay. Is
It's
that
like a
must be a
ring,
real?
you know. You got the Saturn ring, the
Yeah.
gold Saturn
It,
ring.
it must be a real place because this is an Arizona tree. You know.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Is
it's
there a
real
Saturn,
now.
Arizona? Is there a Saturn, Arizona? You got me going now.
Is
You
there a
really
Saturn? No, it's on your canvas, man.
okay? Okay. I didn't know if you're referring to a real place. You know, sometimes I get surprised by names of places, and I'm like, oh, it actually is a real place.
No, man.
Yeah.
Saturn. You made it. You made it. You defined it.
Yeah, yeah, we're there. It's all about the mood. Okay, I like that. I like that.
Well,
I'm gonna.
Jonathan Scott, man, let's talk about that.
Oh, what are we
So,
talking about? Did he throw some bait in the chat for us, or what?
yeah, Jonathan, he threw out a little fish hook. So it goes like
Okay.
this. How are you getting those beautiful colors? I'm just getting mud this morning.
Ah, yeah, because thank you for bringing that up, Jonathan. You know, I always wait for this to be asked because I I kept I shifted from yellow to orange to purple as I got darker. You know, I know that I paint quick and it looks kind of careless and just putting whatever, but it's very specifically following this pattern. So I'm going to make a glow just to illustrate the pattern. I'm going to rinse out my brush here. I was getting ready to do some foliage. Actually, you know what I'm going to do with we won't do that background gradient. We'll just do foliage because that makes more sense. So brightest areas we'll put, and I'm going to make some foliage that's kind of backlit. I'm going to use my yellowest color first. It doesn't have to be any particular yellow, orange, red, purple, any color of the rainbow. Yellowest is first. That the yellowest color might be a red. You know, just think of it as the one that's in the order that I'm going to show you. It's the one that's closest to the yellow. So I'm doing my yellowest color. Now I'm going to start shifting that toward the purple part of the rainbow. And that means getting more orange. Okay, we're going to dab some orange in there. So the outer edges are more yellow. Now you can see we still have some of the yellow visible. Now it's shifting toward the orange. Now I'm moving to the purple because purple and orange are going to make a grayish red. See, if I do purple and orange, then I'm going to end up with like a, sorry, I don't have the camera on that. There. See my purple orange blob. I just want to show you that. I just want to show you that the logic checks out. If I put purple and orange in here, there we go. We've got a gray red, right? It's a gray red. So we're going yellow, orange, red, blue, purple. We're going right down the rainbow, shifting the color. So I'm going to put this purple in here, dab it. None of these have to be intense. We just want the existence of the pattern, the existence of that color shift pattern. This is what I call the translucent glow pattern. Okay, now we got light coming from, I would say coming from within the object, although in this we're staged it coming from behind the object. But when light shines out of something, coming through, we see it coming through. This is a color pattern to use, and it works with any colors. Okay, now we're going to go to the black, and we don't need to do this real aggressively. This color pattern a little bit works well. So I can take this black and really tone down so much of this color pattern, but the existence of it. So it can kind of feel like I just thought that the yellow and the orange, those are going to be pretty. These are pretty, but it's a really specific ordering of those to get the glow effect. And it will work faithfully for you putting those in this order. It will really continue to work over and over again for you. It's not like a mystical deal where sometimes it comes out with the effect and sometimes it doesn't. It really does work very well.
Hey,
Okay.
smash that like button if any of that made sense to you out there. Hey, check this out, Joe. So
let's hear it.
We got this guy, and he's got deer in his yard. Okay.
Oh, nice. I just
So
drove
he's
by
got
some
deer
of
in
those.
his yard, but they're eating up his stuff, his veggies.
Yeah, that's what they do.
And
Yeah.
so Tom is thinking he needs a concrete pumpkin, and then he's gonna paint it like a real pumpkin.
Yeah,
So
nice.
so that the deer come over to his concrete pumpkin
and are disappointed.
and go, "Oh man,
They're not real."
And he says, "Mule deer patrol our neighborhood like a roving gang of locusts. Keep the pumpkins off the porch."
We got a lot of those mule deer.
I'll paint that pumpkin realistically. That'll teach those dastardly deer.
I like that. Kind of a different take than the typical. I thought we were gonna like celebrate the beautiful cuteness of deer. We're talking about invasion.
Is on that.
This is an invasion.
Ernest Hemingway this morning.
Yeah, I got it. I got it. I relate.
You know, Leanne feels Tom's pain, Joe.
They do destroy. They destroy people's yard.
The trauma of those adorable faces decimating my prized flowers and bushes.
Yeah, they destroy them.
Tom calls them rats with antlers.
Rats.
They are cute.
They're cute. Yeah, and I even look at rats and think they're cute. You know, I look at critters. I really have a heart for critters, but they destroy stuff.
You looked at bats up close.
Now, those are kind of 50-50 for me, you know.
Bats are freaky looking, man. I'm not going to say they're cute. They're freaky looking.
Well, there are some bats that are cuter than others. They're not equal. You know, I don't mean to be racist against bats, but some bats are genuinely cuter than other bats.
Yeah. Well, that's fine. Bats have their own bathroom here in California, so we're moving right.
Is that real? California is making progress, man. We're changing the world.
Example for the world. Trying to be an example. It's only at the tip of the spear, Joe.
Yeah. I guess so. All right. We got some foliage glowing. See, I'm just using
glowy fully.
I'm just using the color pattern. That's all it is. It's no fancy detail work, just some stipple with a brush and keeping the color pattern. And I'm just kind of waiting for my imagination to kick in and tell me to do something else. That's it.
Well, you know, I think that if you're looking at the chat here for ideas, we're talking about deer.
Nice. We can do a deer. Let's do one.
We're talking about America Marcy says dog poop could keep the deer away. You know, I don't know if that's really like a thing you want to tap into for inspiration.
Probably not. Probably want to leave the poop out of the picture.
I mean, it's just not challenging. You know,
it's not. Yeah, actually, I don't know. There might be quite a challenge in that, but don't talk me into it. I don't want to be the guy that actually did that.
Listening, how to make a pile of poo shimmer like it's wet. There's a YouTube title. How to make poo look wet.
We'll do that off camera. I am tempted. I'm easily tempted at rendering challenges.
You show me one person in this chat that doesn't poop. All right.
Yeah.
Everybody does it.
I just can't bring myself to.
They wrote a book about it, Joe. It's fine.
Yeah.
Hey, Cornea.
I think it's Cornea. I'm gonna go with Cornea. Because we're Cornelius. Because our name is. No, it's not cornea. It can't be cornea. That's an eyeball.
There's an eye. Cornea.
Cornea. Yeah, I think you got it right the first time. Cornea.
All right. Cornea's got kangaroos. She's got kangaroos.
Whoa, that's fun. So there's only one place I can think of that's got that.
Yeah. Well,
that's pretty cool.
Time getting off that island, so you know.
We went down to a zoo here in Phoenix, Arizona. I'm not in Phoenix, but it's not a far drive. We went down there and saw some kangaroos. You weren't allowed to touch them. I thought that was a little bit extreme. You know, don't touch the kangaroos. I was like, they want to be touched. They were rolled over, showing me their bellies and stuff. They're lazy buggers.
Yeah. Hey, we got a few votes in here that you do not paint poop, so I think you're right on target there, Joe.
Yeah, I didn't want to do that.
Yeah.
There's something that just kind of feels well, you know, I'm in this mode of trying to make something that's attractive to look at, and nobody really loves looking at that.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like an instinct, and not to get too deep into the subject here.
Can you do it?
I am curious about all mental activity, Joe.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Our ingrained repulsion is fascinating too. If you watch a dog, you know, like do their business, we'll call it their business. They'll clean up a little bit.
Yeah, let's keep it.
Their business. And then they like instantly are like, I'm out of here. I'm gonna get out. I don't want to just hang out. I got to get out of here.
Yeah, we're not going to, unless something's kind of broken. I've seen them, you know, we're not going to go into detail, but take a little too much interest.
Yeah.
That happens.
That repulsion, that natural repulsion is across the spectrum. All I'm saying is we're not the only ones that are like, yeah, maybe not, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you need that. You need that because people
maybe not. Here we are actually doing it. So,
well, it's just talk. It's just talk. Yeah, we don't got to keep saying the word.
Should we figure out if it's a color or not?
It's a color. It's a color.
Is brown a color?
Is brown a color? Man, it always just depends on context and definition. You know what I mean?
Speaking of muddy colors.
Yeah. This color I'm using here is purple, orange, yellow. That's what it is. But it is important to, and it's brown. Yeah, it's brown. We're using a brown, which equates to a dark orange. I could have made this just by adding black to an orange probably. But I just wanted to be fancy because it's got a grayer hue to it. I didn't want a super saturated brown, you know?
Yeah. Who does? Who wants a
saturated brown? You don't need that. You want in an area like this, it can be nice.
I painted my house saturated brown once.
You didn't like it. I remember that.
I didn't like it.
Yeah, you were going for a mint chocolate vibe. I remember that, and it just didn't have the same charm that you imagined.
No, it was. I'll let you guess what it was like. We've been talking about it enough. It wasn't great.
We've been, yeah, that was the feeling you got. You're like,
yeah,
not the association saturated. I was going for.
Yeah, it's not great.
Right.
I was trying to have it blend into the earth. You know, I wanted to.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm feeling the glow. All right, so Joe, let's talk about your work here. You got yourself a little glow.
Talk about it. Yeah.
Specifically, you got a nice little bright spot right in front of that deer that's kind of bringing my eye to the middle there.
Sure.
And you also got these leading lines. You got a cast shadow from that tree that's like creating leading lines right over to that deer, right over to that spot in the middle.
Okay.
And so right away, we got some things that are working. Leanne says, nice deer.
Thanks.
So
we look at them a lot around here, you know. Yeah, I'll tell you the key. If you ever want to do a deer silhouette, here's a little tip to make it go faster for you. Because you can end up, when you're doing different animals, the struggle is real, trying to make a thing not look like the wrong animal, like the head shape and the neck proportions. So like signature things about deer is that tiny snout. See how I made a very tapered small snout. So if I wanted it to look more like a horse, I'd bulk that up, the end of the snout. Very small snout is a key component of it. Slender, longer neck than what you want to find on a horse or I don't know, some other animal. Longish. And I kind of feel my way through it from there. Oh, it's got all the same parts as another four-legged elk, moose, horse, cow. It's the same parts, but these are the key components. The big ears and that slender snout. Yeah, big ears, little snout, and long neck is that. Those three things it'll just get you there quicker. I'm just trying to give practical, practical, useful tips on how to get there.
America Marcy wants to name this deer Pumpkins.
Oh, okay, we can do that. Those are pumpkins. Let's just call the painting Pumpkins because it's about pumpkin. So, like, let's leave out the P, the second P, and just call it pumpkin because that's what you call your little kids. They're cute.
Yeah, Punkins.
Yeah, come here, pumpkin. Yeah, even though I don't call my kids that.
So I was out in the woods
All right.
last weekend, right?
Okay.
So I was like,
He saw
like,
one. He
I'm
saw
gonna
a
go
Bigfoot.
into the wilderness, right? I'm gonna get out of this concrete jungle and I'm gonna
Yeah.
get into God's jungle, right? Let's just get
Nice.
into it.
Nice.
So
Okay.
as soon as I went down this forest road out into
Okay.
these mountains, and as soon as I get out there, I see these two black bears, just two black bears just hanging out. Right?
Oh, Christy would be so jealous. We've been here 30 years, never seen a bear.
Dude, there were two of them, and this was, and the hilarious thing is this was near Big Bear, California, right? So it's the name of the
It's
place.
named after it.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's like bear out there, and so right away, as soon as I get in the forest, there's bear, and then a little bit later, there's this big deer, and then a little bit later, there's this owl that's flying overhead, right?
Okay. Okay. That's cool.
And there's these cute little chipmunks running around and everything. It was.
Wow, you were in like
you forget, you forget that life is not a 9 to 5. It's not only a 9 to 5.
Yeah.
And
man, that's a good
and taking your kids to school and
good reminder.
Like,
yeah,
it's this ever churning, vibrant network of life and forms and shapes and things.
Yeah,
just like all doing this, and you're doing it too.
Yeah.
And it's really fun to get out there and realize that it's grounding for me. It's very grounding.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's cool, man. That sounds awesome. Wish I could have seen it.
It felt a lot like this painting. That's why I'm.
Okay. Nice. Yeah, that sounds awesome. I want to make some rays. I like to define where the rays are when I'm doing rays. This can be a tricky thing. So I'll use my trying to combine smooth rays with stippled texture. So the way I'll do it is define where they are, and then I'll stipple inside the boundaries of the rays. Then I'll stipple inside the boundaries of the shadows between the rays. This is how I can accomplish rays overlapping a complex texture, is define where they are first. And here's that gradient, more orange as I get darker, more yellow as I get lighter. Okay, so there's my gradient array coming through. Now I'm going to take my bright yellow, my white, let's stipple inside of these rays. Let's get some stipply pattern, but see, I stay in the bounds so that I don't completely obscure my texture. Then I get a black color to go in these bounds right here. See, let's add just a touch of orange so that we've got that fiery glow to it. Now I'm stippling here.
Tyler says, in the woods, was there a big rabbit running around checking his pocket watch in the woods?
No, he didn't. Not this time. Wasn't that kind of a trip?
Yeah, nice. Dude, there was all that out there. There was all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
It was funny, actually, because it was nighttime, right? It's the black of night. You're away from society, and there's maybe like a half moon, and it's
okay.
So there's some. And all day, you've been thinking to yourself, oh, look at these cute little birds in the bush. Look at these little squirrels. Look at these, you're walking down this trail and a little flutter goes on. You oh, look at that. Look at that. I'll tell you what, as soon as it gets dark out and you realize your eyeballs are no longer that useful, you have no claws. You have no claws. You have piss poor teeth for attacking things. Really you're vulnerable out there, and all of these little noises you're hearing in the bush are no longer cute little birds and cute little squirrels. They're all now like prompting you to think about, what's my bear plan?
What's my bear plan? Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like, what do I do if a bear shows?
Yeah.
If the silhouette of a bear emerges between these bushes in the black night,
Yeah.
Is the bear afraid of me? Am I afraid of the bear? I'm just trying to navigate all that.
Okay, my bear plan. I'm going to describe to you my bear plan. I'm going to tell you what it is.
All right.
Okay. If I can find a nearby tree, I'm not going to climb the tree. I'm gonna play like run around the tree, and it's because I think 2 feet do a really good job of turning sharp. Like you can,
run around the tree.
Yeah. I'm gonna do that because like when you got a dog on a leash, that can be a huge dog, but the stance leverage you have on 2 legs is powerful. So a dog will be like trying to get away, but you got 2 feet. So you got a leverage advantage. Okay, so bear's going to try to run around the tree. I need to have a stick in hand so that in the event that it lunges, I can make it lunge onto the stick, hopefully put the stick in the mouth, go into the mouth, not like
Yeah,
pull away.
that can't be comfortable. Imagine you're trying to get your mouth wrapped around a burrito, and then that
And
burrito
there's a
sticks a
stick,
massive
yeah.
branch in your mouth.
And this is all just in hopes that it works. This is just my tentative plan. I'm gonna try that. And four-legged animals have a real hard time. Where two legs has an advantage is the ability to rear back, to bend back on your rear end. So we can turn around and, we can scratch any part of our body. We can turn around, we can twist. The four legs, they don't do that very well. So if you grab something around its waist, it has a really hard time getting out of that hold. You can take an alligator. That's how people wrestle alligators. That's my plan.
Yeah.
That's my plan. I'm going to try to get it behind.
All right.
I think, my prediction is that I'll die, but I'm going to go down fighting.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I realized I don't have a bear plan.
You don't need one. Yeah.
My bear plan was run into the car.
You're like, I don't care. A bear plan. I'm not trying to fight a bear.
Yeah. But also these are like black bear. These are like huge dogs. They look like huge fat dogs.
Yeah.
That's how big an animal we're talking about. Like think of the biggest dog you've ever seen. Now put a massive coat of fur on that thing, and then
intimidating, man.
Meat,
Yeah.
Like that's the size of the animal.
I wish I could have seen that. That would have been cool.
It was rad, dude. And then the owl that was flying right overhead. Gosh, man, in the silence of night, and a bird of prey that like flies over your head and then pivots right over your head, 10 feet over our head,
Yeah.
4 foot
that
wings,
awesome.
3 foot wingspan kind of bird name,
Yeah.
Just
sounds
that
pretty great.
In the black of night, the wings.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. Dude, I saw one just the other day. I was down. I was taking the neighborhood kids down to the local pond to catch bullfrogs. We were doing that, dude. It was so cool. And so then an owl flaps its wings a few times, and it's quiet. It's not a loud flap, They got quiet wings, and that was so cool to see that. And then in the silhouette in the moonlight flies away, and it's just it feels extra magical because it's. Why is it so magical? Why is that magical? But it was.
I mean, Leanne says amazing how quietly owls can fly and how noisy ravens are.
That's true. They clap their wings real loud.
Yeah, because ravens are scavengers. They're not going to scare away the McDonald's in the middle of the street,
Yeah, and maybe they're proud of the noise. They're like, yeah, man.
Yeah, what's up, everybody? What's up?
Coming. Yeah. That's a raven. That's the raven way right there.
The owl comes in just like I gotta sneak up on this chipmunk,
Yeah,
it was awesome.
That sounds cool.
I'm awestruck at it for sure.
Nice. That's pretty neat.
Yeah, it makes me want to go back. But it felt a lot like this painting for sure.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, this isn't a detail painting. This is a mood painting. We're just getting gradients. It's mostly gradients. That's mostly what it is. Some brush texture tricks and some strategic gradients. And I've learned in my experience as doing it professionally that prioritizing this aspect of the painting pays off. It just pays off because not too many people are interested in accuracy that doesn't have a good mood. And the mood happens here. This is where the mood happens.
Dude, Tom's got an owl that sits on his chimney and hoots while he watches TV.
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah, that's cool, man. I used to feed a neighborhood owl. I would catch mice out of the neighbor's house with our Lego mousetrap, and I would go release them in the front yard of this house. And there was an owl that just hung out in that tree every night. I would put out the Lego non-kill mouse trap. I'm very kind because I use non-kill mouse traps, but then I feed them to the owl. So,
Yeah.
Just kind of
Yeah.
giving with one hand and taking back with the other.
Compromise. It's a compromise.
Yeah. Make some light peeking out of this. Let's just put some pure yellow. Just wow.
Well, you know, Joe, we're all consuming something and about to be consumed by something else.
Yeah, it's hard not to be part of that cycle, isn't it? It's like, I would love to just be the all-around giver of life, where nothing I do ever brings trouble to anything else. Yeah. But
Snow White and Peter Pan are your best friends.
Yeah, that would sure be nice. I love painting them.
Yeah,
I like that.
Mythology, bro. Mythology.
Yeah, it taps into things we love. I like that we hope for those things, even though we don't. Like, there's some very unromantic aspects of life here, but hope is a beautiful thing. It's like we paint stuff that like we hope for a different existence. I think that's a unique and beautiful thing about people. Is like there's this built-in imagining of paradise. What is your paradise? So I love how it's just kind of built in to imagine your paradise and hope for it. And then if you're an artist, you tend to lean toward trying to paint that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's true. Who's sitting around in life just fantasizing about what a worse afterlife there is for waiting for them?
It's probably awful. Yeah.
I'm going to stay alive as long as possible, and I hope that death is painful and eternal.
Yeah. You're probably just
we're not.
Stuck.
We're sitting here idealizing things, hoping.
Yeah. Yeah, it's it. It's built in. Hope is a built-in.
We're aspirational.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's cool. It's something I like about human. It's that tendency to hope. There is always hope, says Gandalf. Okay. There we got some rays. So just a subtle. I'm trying to keep it subtle. Nothing like super extreme taking over. I always make sure, you saw me at the beginning put orange and yellow before I started putting the ray, because white will just make a film that looks like fog. So you need the color, just like we were talking about the glow earlier. So I start with the color so that when I whisk it across, it's actually a real light orange that's coming across to get that ray effect. Now it's time to
that ray's working, man. It's a beautiful fall scene, Leanne says.
All right, nice. Thanks. Happy to hear that.
Tom's over here thinking about the coyote that wandered through his yard occasionally. Nice. Irene coming off of the wall. No more wallflower for her. She's saying beautiful deer with a cute deer emoji.
Thank you.
Deer emoji, Irene. Where'd you find that deer emoji?
The best deer is the one that your imagination puts together. Hey, we're talking about that tendency to hope. I just realized that actually pertains to our subject here, Ben. This is exciting. Some nonsense philosophy actually pertains to practical art. See, this is why we do it, because we're waiting for that moment. I just realized something. No, you rely on imagination to fill in the blanks, because imagination does not try to visualize hell in this picture. It goes the opposite way. It tries to visualize, it idealizes the deer. You know what I'm saying? So when you see a blurry deer, it's kind of like a deer in the forest. You don't think, when the details are obscured, we don't tend toward something like, it's probably chupacabra coming to suck the blood out of the bunny rabbit. Like we don't tend instantly toward that. Although people do make an effort to do that on purpose. I understand that people do that. But I rely on imagination filling in the blanks. So I put low detail imagination fills in the blanks for me. It does the work. And when someone imagines it, it's a better experience. That's the key takeaway for me. Yeah. Is that I can never paint better than your imagination. So I always rely on it to fill in the blanks.
Yeah. That is very quintessentially human, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, Yeah, on the one hand, we are hopeful. We need to remain hopeful. That's kind of like a prerequisite to do life. Yeah, yeah, need to believe that it can be better than it is. Because if
Yeah,
you don't, then
yeah.
you inversely believe this is the best it'll ever be, and it'll probably get worse.
It's getting dark. Yeah.
And that's just not a motivating way to go through your life,
No,
you
no,
know.
it's really not.
And
Yeah.
so necessarily you're going to need to be hopeful and imaginative, because
Yeah.
if you're not hopeful and you're not imaginative, well, I think you're going to lack sufficient fuel to do life, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Yeah, you do. Yeah, it's exhausting being dissatisfied. Dissatisfaction is very tiring.
Like, just imagine being in a car on a trip. Okay, you're on a car, and let's say you're headed out to vacation. You're thinking, "Oh my gosh, it's gonna be so rad. Oh, when are we gonna get there? Oh, how far away are we? What's it gonna be like? What are we gonna do?" You know, that versus now you're in a car and you're headed to the middle of the desert where it's 120 degrees. You have no shelter or water, and you're low on gas. Right?
Right.
You're thinking to
Yeah.
yourself, "This is gonna suck. I
This is
don't want
gonna
to do this.
be.
I don't want to go." And the whole thing is not going to really be exciting for you to participate in. So the point
Yeah.
is,
Yeah.
I think it's necessary. It's not like a thing we like choose to do.
Hmm.
It's a thing that we must do.
Yeah. Yeah. I got you. Yeah. I think you're right. I think you're right about that.
All right.
It's
Well,
good.
Joe's thinking about bark texture. He's not thinking about much else.
No, no, I'm thinking about other stuff. You
Bark,
can tell I got focused, huh? You can
he's
tell
got
by the
bark
tone.
highlights, man. Some bark highlights. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. Cool, man. Yeah, cool. That's cool. How about
that's
this
cool.
bark
That's
one?
cool. Good idea. Yeah, yeah. Dude, you busted me. You busted me just now. Okay, I'm gonna put a little bit of light. Come on. So an important thing in making a nice, inviting lighting scheme in your picture, trying to get the lighting to look natural, inviting, pleasant, whatever words you want to use, is trying to capture what we would call ambient light. But really, it's just the light that's coming from different directions, estimating color. So I'm putting a light that is coming from this way. It's maybe the blue sky. That's what all that gray is. Maybe the blue sky is shining a blue light on this bark and leaving a shadow. So I have the dark. But then orange lights come from this side, shining an orange light, leaving a shadow. So I got this. So the shadow's kind of in the middle where I have two different colors of light. I know that you do that a lot in your work, trying to get lighting from multiple sides so that you get not just a 3D image, but an attractive 3D image. Capturing the edges with different colors. That comes
Yeah.
off.
Well, light is my paintbrush. That's for sure.
That's it. Yeah.
Uh, it's no different than you. You have to create the object and then light the object. I kind of just grab objects and arrange them. But you definitely
Sure.
are not going to have an attractive image until you've got attractive lighting.
Yeah, yeah, attractive lighting. But that reminds me of the live stream we did, a little while back with the girl's face, and we changed the lighting on it. That was kind of a fun
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
experiment. That was
Hey,
a while
Maver
back.
says, "What's the title of your short video you posted this morning, Joe?"
I didn't post it this morning, but I did it earlier in the week, and it was my best detail brush, something like that. Oh
Yeah.
boy, I'm so terrible at this. I can pull it up. Pull it up and look. It was the most recent posts.
Hey, so
And
Joe,
I
are
did a
you
couple of them. One was like
are
aspen.
you Tom wants to know, are you really like focused on this bark and like thinking about it, or is it just muscle memory?
Muscle memory for the most part. It's all stuff I've done before. I don't just intuitively know exactly how to make something look like bark. It really has been repeated many times. So I'm using old patterns, pulling out old tricks, like this pattern of where to put the splits in it it's a real specific pattern. And the pattern of the lighting, real specific, trying to put those highlights on there, just kind of the negative space between this pattern, just using the brush to do kind of squares. I like to combine them both. I like to do the negative space between the object in question and then do the object itself. I go back and forth, whether it's clouds or whether it's dirt splitting apart or bark. This is a split pattern. You kind of make a fractal, so to speak, where you just have like, it branches off, to illustrate the point. Let's make a real big split in the bottom of this. I know it's hard to see. Well, we'll just do it like, in the ground. We'll just do, this is an object lesson. We're just going to do it because it's fun to show this pattern. It works really well. Okay, a split can go any direction. We just do tapered. It gets skinny as it disappears.
Of course, so we can see it.
Thanks. Yeah, my bad. Yeah, we're gonna go down here. Okay, we're just doing a split in the ground just to understand a split, Okay, you do like a desert, all splitting apart. Taper the line, skinny here, bigger here. Maybe it zigzags a few times. Try to get the perspective, so it's wider here because it's coming toward me, skinnier this way. But it's just a zigzagging line that tapers out. Okay, so that's my split to start with. Now, I might zigzag a lot, maybe a little, but what I'm going to do is wherever it turns, any little turn. So here's a tiny turn. That's a good place to put another split that tapers and turns. Here's a turn. Let's taper and turn off that one, taper and turn off of this one, taper and turn off of this one. And, anywhere it has that, these are the turns are where you'll see the other splits. So, for example, I'm not going to it'll feel unnatural if I put a split coming off this inside corner. See that? So I'm putting it off the outside of the turn. It always branches off the outside of the turn, like a tree, really. So it's not going to have a split right here. This is going to have a weird feel to it. See how that split right there? It has an unnatural, just doesn't quite have the right feel to it. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, because splits are a dividing of the tension on a surface. It's like even distribution of tension. So there's that's just to say there's a reason to it. All right. So then when I do another split, I can make this branching off of a larger split. So we can make like a really big one. This painting is about to get very strange. Okay. Well, I'm going to put a slight turn right here where this branches off so that it doesn't look weird. Okay, let's go this way. Let's just follow this split right here. It turns this way, turns this way. Okay, so now I have the branches coming off of the outside turns, like that. Now, if I do another split, I'm probably not going to put another split right here, point to point, because it's just not the way they distribute the splitting apart. So there's a distribution. So I'll put it alongside. So you go like this. This is really fun. I can take another split, zigzag it, and we're going to bring it right down here. Hang on. Let me get better control of my brush. Put it right alongside of that split. And so then after I go alongside of it, and I put the little branchies coming off like this. There we go. Now that's going to go toward this one. This one might go toward this one, but I won't point them right at each other. Again, that fractal pattern, they kind of offset from each other. Okay, we're going to go this way. See, I found that outside turn came off.
Earthquake country here.
Yeah, it's earthquake country. Now I'm going to offset these. They don't point to each other. We're going to do another little teensy right there. Let's do one here. So then, okay, so you can see that this creates. Now, if I wanted to get that detailed, you can go as far as you want to. I can make little branching splits come off of these tiny ones as well. But once again, I'm using the same pattern. It gets hard to think about at that tiny level. But you can see it makes a distinct look. This is that distinct look, and it totally gets randomized. It's not. I've made it kind of geometric for the sake of understanding. There's like kind of a rigid geometry. But when you're looking at natural ones, they tend to be in like real, more like organic curves. You'll do this, and you'll maybe
Well,
have
these shapes, they could also, it's funny, these could be cracks in the ground. These shapes could also be splits in the tree bark. These could also be roots emerging from the soil. It's just interesting that this is the way that a force reaches through.
Totally. There's like matter, there's some kind of a distribution principle. Yeah, some kind of a distribution principle. Causing this to reoccur and reoccur. Clouds in the sky split apart the same way.
The way lightning behaves.
Yeah. Oh wow, I didn't think of that. Yeah. So yeah, interesting.
It's a thing ripping. It's a thing ripping through another matter.
Boy, you're really breaking it down. Nice.
Anyways, hey, it's been about an hour and a half, Joe. What do you want to do with the rest of your time here?
Let's look at some work. I think we had a good time putting together this happy vibe on this picture. It's just a study.
Yeah.
You can stop there.
Sure is pretty.
So let's zoom out and see it. We got light coming from different places. I was thinking I just want a good vibe.
That's it. Arlene is now fearing for the deer on account of this earthquake that's coming its way.
Yeah, and the deer kind of has a curious stance, doesn't it? It almost looks like it's responding.
Yeah, deer's like, wait a second, what is that?
This picture got a lot more interesting to look at. It has a sense of story. What
story is that now. Fracture in the earth.
Yeah. We got more work to look at. We can check out some more work. Let's see. We got. Isn't she lovely? That's the name of the piece right here.
Isn't she lovely?
We got a family member walking here, Tyler. Maybe a family member.
Ooh.
I want to know who that is. That's nice. I like this. This really looks like a beautiful stroll in the grass. Nice skin tone, lights and shadows on the clothing. Good job not going too light on your picture. I like to use real dark shadows. I like that a lot. That's good. So let me suggest that in the skin tone, when we zoom in on this, when we go to the skin tone here, let me suggest you add color to those shadows there, so that it looks, it's real with skin tone. It really helps it to look alive. Just where shadow meets light, a little bit of orange color goes a long way. I said that before. I say it a lot, so we won't dwell on it. All right, nice, Tyler. That's cool. Good picture. I finished this. Oh, there was a message with this. And finished this last week. People are so hard for me. Only going to get better if I keep trying. This was inspired from a pic I took of my wife this spring walking in our backyard. Okay, nice. Yeah, that skin tone trick really works. It really works. It's a good one. Just put color between shadow and light. All right, now we're going to go to something from Leanne here. I can't find the live show today. Are you just late? Yes, that happened. Yes, that's the trick. Here's Jacob. And some beautiful work here. Nice. Look at that. Jacob Swanger. I like that. I like that signature. Beautiful work. I like that snow, man. That pops out. 3D snow on the rocks protruding out.
Yeah, good colors, good shadows.
Yeah. Classic example of more than one thing telling the same story. When you get snow in the valley and the light and the shadow on the snow communicates the same shapes as the light and the shadow on the rocks. That overlapping of those two things makes a powerful three-dimensional shape. Really nice.
Tom's asking you, Joe, when you're wandering in nature, noticing all these textures at work, do you make notes in a sketchbook or take photos?
I used to immediately come home and do experiments on practice boards and things. I reached a point where mental notes was enough because there starts to be a lot of repeats, and things get like brain space I really believe it. I'm not trying to get too woo
It's
woo
like
on
learning a
everybody.
language, you know. You once you figure out the syllables and the vocabulary, and
It's kind of like that, but I think your mind when you're walking in the same like mode over and over, I think the storage space gradually starts to increase because it's your mode, you know. I think it's a
yeah,
natural reaction. So I do indeed observe and take notes, but it's all mental notes now. I'll look at a sunset and I can't help but think how I'm going to paint it. You know, hey, you know, someday it'll be fun to paint something like that. I can, you know, and I'll observe how the patterns that I'm already familiar with have a unique breakdown in this particular beautiful site. You know, but the taking notes kind of like interrupts my experiencing it and taking it in. So I find it to be more helpful just to get effect. I
I'll
really
tell
try
you,
to get
Tom. I
affected
tell
by
you,
it.
Tom. I have some
Affected.
experience walking around with Joe in the woods, and how it usually goes is you're walking in the woods, and all of a sudden Joe stops walking, and then you look back, and he's staring at something. You know,
Yeah.
that's
Just
how it
staring.
goes.
Yeah. Yeah, right. I guess I am a bit like that. It does
And then
happen
he's
to
gonna,
one.
and then he's gonna tell you about how awesome it is what he was staring at, and then you're gonna
Yeah.
keep walking, and then you're gonna stop at something else and realize how awesome that looks.
Yeah.
That's the way it goes, man. Walk slow, notice things.
Yeah. I guess so. Yeah. Yeah. You know, it can interrupt things sometimes. All right. Here's a beautiful one. Love the subtle colors. Nothing like super primary screaming bright colors, but the gradients are beautiful. It's that same pattern. So Jonathan brought it up today. Here's that same pattern. So let's look how as we get brighter, we're moving toward not too yellow, but toward yellow. So these would be the bluest colors, even though they're very grayish green. They'd be the bluest colors on the canvas in the water. And then see how it moves toward a green, toward a yellower shade of green, just yellower than it was. It's just the moving toward that is the pattern. I just want to stress that because when I first discovered this, I got excited and was constantly putting more yellow than necessary in my waves. And it just little bit goes a long way to establish that glow effect. This is nicely captured. I really like that. This piece is from this piece here was from Judy. Judy shared this one with us. Beautiful work from Judy. I like that. Peaceful vibe. Nice. And here's one from that's Judy again. Okay, Jonathan. Let's look at your old-fashioned truck. Let's check it out. All right, nice rust turquoise. Nice choice to. I like the color of truck choice to. You know, well, I guess kind of like patinaed copper. I love that. I always feel like these things are engineered to be attractive by God Himself. Like patinaed copper, they're opposite colors on the spectrum. They look amazing together. You know, it's just so cool. But that's not copper. That's like rust and turquoise. But it's, you know, like similar thing. An old penny has that color combo. Hey, nice, Jonathan. That's really cool. I like that. I like the nice job with the shadow under it. Black chrome hubs, 1950s hubcaps. That's looking good. Maybe 40s. What do you think? Yeah, that's cool. Ben must have went to.
I was on mute, didn't realize it. This
Huh?
is a good looking truck, man.
I was thinking you just had a bathroom break. Yeah, that's beautiful. Nice work, Jonathan. I love it, man. Good job. Let's check out another one. We're almost done with the submitted pictures. Cornea has one. Oh wow, what is that? Oh, hold on. Let's read the context here. This is an acrylic pour I did. Hope you like it. Let's see the acrylic pour. I've never done this. Never done this, but that looks so much like splashing water. Really interesting. Your choice of colors is really created like a splashing water effect.
Totally.
Oh, very
And
cool.
that shape is very curly wave kind of, you know.
Yeah, yeah. You know, Mavis, this makes me think as Mavis had a good suggestion to talk more about. I've said before, water helped me paint everything else better, understanding water. And so when I look at this and it looks like water, I instantly go to that mind space that's like, why does it look like water? This is why it looks like water. I'm going there in my head looking at the colors. You always have three different big categories appearing in water of color categories. And if you see those three categories, it's very helpful. And you know, so here I see those categories in shades of blue. And one of those categories is the glow that I was talking about with Jonathan, where a deep saturated compared to the other colors in the picture, deep saturated color experiences the moving toward yellow as it brightens, not losing saturation. So look, we move toward the more turquoise color. That is the bluer moving toward the greener, toward the yellow on the rainbow. You know, and that is that glow. It makes it feel like there's lights in there making a bit of a glow. That it works every time. So there's the presence of this kind of abstractly making me think that. Okay, the other categories are there too, but I don't want to make a short video, a long one right at the end. We don't need to do that. Here's another one from Jacob. Oh, same picture, but further developed. Nice. Okay, we got to see the progress and like the reflection on there. Nice job. You know what I really like the dark reflection with the light water showing in between. A good job with that. You know, in waves will revolve. You know, you'll get, this is angle. Reflections are always angle based. So it's like, you know, it's like you're looking at water. So if it tips this way, you know, let's say this is the top of the water, it tips this way, you see more reflection of what's at the horizon. So this picture, you know, that tips this way on the wave, then you see reflection of maybe the sky, or maybe you see under the water if it tips far enough. So it goes like higher in the sky, lower in the sky, higher in the sky, lower in the sky. It goes like that on the water as it goes. So that's what causes this effect that you see, where we have the reflection, no reflection, reflection, no reflection. And you did a great job with that. That's cool, Jacob. Nice job. And I really like, this looks like very illuminated water because the dark colors of the reflection are lighter than the dark colors of the real thing. That's not always the case. So what this says is that the water in the shadows, the water underneath, is brighter than the shadows themselves, because this is like an average of the two. So it looks like, because of the lightness of that reflection, it looks like illuminated, beautiful blue water. Very cool. I like it. That's really nice. That's all the pictures we have. That's it. And that is the whole show, folks. That's just making sure we saw it all. That's a wrap. That's a wrap. We started a little late, but
all right. Thanks everybody for sending in your stuff.
Thank you. Thanks, Ben, for keeping an eye on that chat.
Yep.
Good.
Keep up the imaginative, optimistic, hopeful work.
That's the theme. That's the theme today. Yeah, we need that. All right.
The world needs it.
Yeah. All right. I like Mavis' idea. I'm gonna do a video on it, or a live on it. How water taught me everything. You know, it's like, that really is to understand how light interacts with stuff visually. Not claiming to be a physicist here. Visually, yeah. The patterns that repeat over and over, that give you the ability to render what you're imagining.
Well, I'll tell you what. You know, I was looking at a pile of wet sand drying in the rising sun, and the water evaporating from it, and the sand eroding and kind of collapsing from its cliffy form.
Yeah.
And so you can learn a lot about a lot by watching water as well.
You can learn a lot about a lot. Well said. Well said. All right. If any of you are coming to the in-person workshop, I'm going to set up a Google Meet thing, send out a link to everybody, see if we can get that going. We're going to do a chat about the in-person workshop. I'm very excited. That's coming up in September. I'm probably going to have to take some time off from the Saturday live stream as that approaches. It's going to be hard to do both. But thanks, everybody. We're going to do this.
Yep.
Do this
Good
next
to
time.
see you all. Well, come back and we'll see you again soon.
Yeah, sounds good.